All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. I had this is more questions or comments and whatnot from subscribers, and one of them said, all right, hang on, where did it go? Okay, sorry about that, Chief. Yeah, David McFarlane under the Hopi Elders one, I think. Oh, I got a phone call. I got to take this. Okay, an hour later, it was still paused. That's amazing. So there's some customer, yeah, some subscriber comments that I wanted to deal with or talk about. So where to begin? Yeah, that's where I was. So alrighty, first off, the gallery. Come on, gallery. Okay, all right, and it's all lined up, ready to go. Boom, screenshots. Okay. McFarlane, David McFarlane. Me and my wife are planning on getting away from the East Coast of North Carolina. Good. Vanity-wise, I've been saying for 20-some years, the coast is toast. And move to the Smoky Mountains and live off-grid. We don't believe we live on a spinning ball hurtling through space. I don't believe any history or fake news. You may disagree, but we don't know anything really because we have been lied to so much. I like your channel, sir, and respect what you are saying. Thanks. So, very cool. Then I wrote him back, I said, no, we don't live on a spinning ball. I said, you don't believe that, you don't believe everything you're told? What's wrong with you? Shame on you. You've wasted billions upon billions of dollars of good, perfectly good brainwashing.
All right, take 3.
There we go. Yeah, I'll just read that. You don't believe we're on a spinning ball going 1,046 miles an hour? Even though you can't see it at all. That you don't believe that we're tilted at 66.6 degrees from the horizontal? You don't believe that we're going around the sun at 66,666 miles an hour? And that in order to determine the curvature of this magical blue ball, you must square the miles and then multiply by the constant decimal 0.666. You don't believe that? Shame on you. You've wasted the billions of dollars of the best brainwashing operation in history and made it of none effect. Anyway, seriously, you should consider my watching my series on the OzArk Plateau Refugium versus the Pacific Northwest Redoubt states. I could and may do one on the Cumberland Plateau, Smoky Mountains, etc. If you're limited financially, better to make the correct choice the first time. 60% of our population is east of the Mississippi. Look at the maps of the gas pipelines, the oil pipelines, the nuclear plants. There are zero, and along with the fact that there's 0 DUMBs, deep underground military bases, east of the Mississippi. Can you say zombie apocalypse? Watch World War Z and read Nathan Leal's site, The Watchman's Cry, about what he says about World War Z and zombie apocalypse. He says what he saw in that movie with Brad Pitt, Nathan Leal says that's what he's seen in dreams and visions. So that's pretty scary stuff. That movie is, pretty brutal. But GMO, you have binary agents, nerve and explosives. You can buy tannerite. It's an A and B mix. They both ship UPS in separate times, separate containers. You mix them together, you've got an explosive. Same thing with nerve gas, binary, two-part. In other words, two-part concoction. That could be frequency. It could be the food you're eating. They push a button, microwave burst, boom, zombies. So 60% of our population is east of the Mississippi. Very highly densely populated areas. And like I said, watch my video on There is no death. The chapter 4 title of that book titled I See the Future. She sees the thing that kills more people than everybody else, anything else in the United States is zombies, for lack of a better word. Mindless killing hordes, not killing for anything. Not people think, I got my food and I'm going to protect it. You're a zombie, you know. I mean, I'm sorry, you know, you basically have a zombie mentality. If you're thinking about killing people, you're on the wrong page and you're in the wrong program in the wrong kingdom, pretty much. I mean, you know, there's going to be issues of self-defense and whatnot, but you know what she saw in that book is exactly what I'm seeing. A bunch of people praying. I said 7 things. They were praying. They knew something was going to happen. They were ahead of time. They were prepared. They had leadership. They were praying. They had food. They were willing to share that food. And when those zombie hordes came through, those were the only places in the country that the horde went around because they had protection and Father was with them. Read Isaiah 4. Unless you have an assembly of, you know, believers and the covert of the Lord will be a covert. Yahweh will be a covert over them. And then on Flat Earth, you know, I have a channel called Flat Earth Homeland. So, to, you know, David McFarlane and wife and everybody else, you know, I started that channel specifically because quite a few times in Flat Earth videos, people would say, man, maybe we should have a nation or a place to gather. We do. You do. It's called the OzArk Plateau. Most people coming here are Flat Earthers. I mean, I would say probably about 100%. So, but the message, if someone could help get that message out to the Flat Earth, and I'm just, you know, I just don't have time. I have got like 30 videos I'd like to do right now. I have been writing and phone and helping people all day long. I haven't even eaten anything yet. It's 8:45. I'm just starting dinner. That's stupid. My cooking, I'm the bottle washer, but my cook left for the day, so. Stone Kingdom of Yahweh. He's a good cook, let me tell you. Whoa, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to make something. So I said, blessings, brother and sister, come visit a different world here, you know, so. All right. And then, and I'm just going to touch on this. I'm going to pull it up because I don't have it on a screenshot. Hang on. All right, dinner's on. Woohoo! And another weight in it, still holding at 737 or whatever it was when I first did it. All right, so this is, and this, I'm not going to even begin to answer this one because it's deep, but I just want to get it out there. Everybody can cogitate on it. Cognitive dissonance. Don't have cognitive dissonance about flat Earth or, you know, grand solar minimum. You know, just take it in stride and go, okay, ho hum. Okay, something else to get ready for, you know. This is from Scott McDonough. Very great brother, but blessed brother in my book because he's helped me out a little bit, quite a bit, as a matter of fact. So here we go. This is to me, Jerry Diamond. media@oilseedcrops.org and oppenheimerranch@gmail.com. Now, Oppenheimer Ranch is one of the big, I'm sure there's more, but there's one channel, Grand Solar Minimum, GSM, and it's I don't remember their names. It's a husband and wife that do that one. And that's the one that says, you know, people say you're crazy. Well, you know, if you think you're crazy enough to change the world, go for it. You know, crazy people, only people that are crazy enough to believe they can change the world are the only people that do. Well, I am not crazy. And for a fact, if I could write this trilogy, if I could get some help with the trilogy, Hunger Games, 1, 2, 3. Mockingjay, 1, 2, 3. Catching Fire, 1, 2, 3. 3 syllables. You know, various words. But Divergent is pretty cool. Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant. 8 letters. Yeah. 8 letters, 3 syllables. Try 9 letters, 3 syllables. Try 8 letters and 4 syllables. Delirium, Imperium, and Refugium. And we're going to develop. Just all I'm doing is I'm just seeing what God's doing. Like I said, for decades in my family, I have prayed, and in public at meetings, Father, just let us be let in on your plans. You know, may we kind of sort of understand your plans and where you're going, what you're doing in this world, and be allowed to be a part of it to whatever degree, you know, you allow us to be, that we are qualified to help. You know, if you want me to sweep floors, I'll sweep floors. If you want somebody to come in here and do what I'm doing, that's a whole lot more qualified. It wouldn't be hard. Would not be hard at all. I will be the chief cook and bottle washer. I'll do whatever they tell me to do. I don't care. It takes more grace than I can tell to play the second fiddle well. Wind beneath his wings. Listen to that song. Some people have that capability to be the wind beneath somebody else's wings. I could care less. I would be happy doing that rather than let somebody else take the burden, take the ring, you know. It's killer. You know. I've always just wanted a Sam by my side and at my back that I could trust. Anyway. Oppenheimer ramps, GSM, and Adapt 2030 are 3 big channels that do that. Okay, so anyway, this is titled. And I didn't know where he was going with this at first, you know, because I'm like, you know. It's To Me, Media at Oilseed and Oppenheimer Ranch. And it's titled, you know, let's let you see it. I'm not even going to. Why is that so hard to see? Sorry. I can't see it. 3 massive craniums. You got me mixed up with somebody else, but whatever. All right, it's funny. It's cute. After listening intently for weeks to all 3 of your YouTube channels, I have received a clear and consistent message in all but one of your postulates. Is the sun's entry into its grand solar minimum appreciably contributing to the weakening of the Earth's magnetosphere, or is the Earth magnetosphere changing for the most part independently of the sun on its own inherent timetable? You can just rewind it and listen to it 15 times and figure out what it says. Or I can screenshot it and send it to you, email if you want. Or I'll copy and paste it and put it under here. Okay, now I understand that the physics of a bullet means nothing to the person whom said bullet is being shot at. Left out, but yeah. Okay. If you're getting hit with a bullet, you don't really care about the physics and the foot pounds and the, you know, if you hear that slap, you're not going to hear it, but you know. Oh, anyway, you get the message. The 3 of you are rightly focusing on getting out as much news as you can while there is still time. Why the Earth's magnetic field is changing is less important than the fact that it is, and all should prepare as soon as possible. But I would like to be able to solidify and coherently explain the processes you have all set before us. Is there any way the 3 of you could communicate on this subject with the goal of coming to some sort of consensus? Signed, your pain in the ass. Scott McDonough. That is cute. All right. I'm not going to even try to begin to answer it. Although I will say, okay, from a cosmological perspective, is the sun's entry into its grand solar minimum appreciably contributing to the weakening of the Earth's magnetosphere? Or is the Earth's magnetosphere changing for the most part independently of the sun on its own inherent timetable? So I would begin by pointing out that, you know, if we have the globalist, you know, cosmological idea in our head, then, you know, there's not a whole lot. this would make more sense from a flat Earth perspective. I would say that. In other words, the Earth is a battery. It's electrical. It's magnetic. All magnetism is electrical, and all electricity is magnetic. I've said before, take a sheet of copper, put a rare earth magnet on it, and watch it slide down. Instead of going, it just kind of put a sphere, a rare earth magnet sphere, in a copper tube, and it will take a long time to get through it. It doesn't drop. It floats. Okay. Why do people say that snipers, blah, 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 and down in Texas where it's closer to the equator, and if you shoot a bullet, it takes longer for it to travel. It moves. You have to calculate the Coriolis effect. Well, hello. Copper is electrical. Bullets are coated with copper jackets, and lead is going to be affected by electricity. It's traveling. It's spinning. Number one. Okay, and it's spinning. As it's spinning, it's being affected by the magnetosphere of the Earth. So, enough said on that. I try to get that. Let me draw you a picture. This is Boilermaker guy. Try to explain that, and he just wasn't getting it. I mean, he was actually trying to study it, so I was trying to explain it to him. I said, the copper in the bullet is gonna, the spinning of the bullet is gonna make it change. Because the biggest telling thing on that is they're saying that this high off the ground, the Earth is moving out from under that bullet. That's well and good. The bullet's traveling really fast. How about if you take something traveling really slow? Or like a helicopter that just goes up near and sits there and hovers, and the Earth's moving out from under that bullet. Why is the Earth not moving out from under that helicopter? So that blows that argument of a sniper bullet and the flat Earth versus the round Earth and the rotating Earth is completely blown out of the water. It's stupid to the nth degree. It's almost as stupid as what they say the moon does. The gravity of the moon affects the tides. That is a trip. I'm not even going to go into that because it'll take too long to explain it, but do your own research. Okay. Enter Google JFGI, Google, moon's tide affects Earth's gravity, and read them. I did it. 10 pages. I had 200 hits open. They all said dumb, retarded, crap. And then I put in moon electricity affect Earth's tide. Bingo. 1859. They stretched a cable across the Thames River in London and found that at low tide, the electricity through it was 220 volts, and at high tide, it was 295 volts, whatever. Not just making that up, but it was at low tide, high tide. The electrical current through that cable was a lot different. So, duh. You think a bullet's going to be affected by electricity? Duh. Take a magnet, drop it down in copper, just reverse it. Instead of the magnet, which is magnetic, on a piece of electrically conductive material, you're taking an electrically conductive material, putting it through a rifle bore, spinning it, and it's traveling through a magnetosphere. So, deal with it. But yeah, so this is a very, very good question because, which is bigger, the Earth or the Sun? Oh, the sun's, yeah, we've heard that one. We now know that that's a blatant lie. If you get, get the fact that if you, I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to say it real quick. I can handle math, a lot of math. If I studied up, I could handle more because I wish I was as smart as I was in 8th grade and high school and stuff, but oh well, your brain, you lose brain cells and all that. You lose your hair, you lose your brain cells. There's a third thing that I can't ever remember, but oh yeah, I remember what it was. It has to do with hair. Some men use their hormones for growing hair. That's it. Yeah, that's why. Okay, enough said on that one. Okay. So good question, but I would say, the Earth, is far larger. We can see, you can actually take a sextant and different things that measure the sun, and there's people that are tracking, mapping the sun's pattern, the path around the Earth, and can pretty well figure it out that it's 30 some miles diameters, supposedly. I'm going to say allegedly, because until I do it myself, I'm capable of doing it myself, but it makes sense. And the reason it makes sense, one of them, is that I can figure a real simple Pythagorean theorem problem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's pretty simple. The United States, now of course the sun is traveling in an arc, and you can see that visibly on every ultra high speed video that's tracking the sun. You see it come up overhead, you see it go down, and you see it go to the west, and all of a sudden, the last few seconds, it's going, and from you, it's going like this. You see it curve real fast, real severely, because you're picking up the last several hundred miles in a matter of 2 seconds, and you can see it. So the point is that from the time the sun is on the East Coast, ballpark, this is just all roughy estimate, but it doesn't take a whole lot of rough estimate. You don't have to be precise. The fact of the matter is that from the East Coast to the West Coast, let's see here, East Coast, West Coast, okay, well, let's call it 3,000 miles, okay, boom. At noon, the sun's here. Where is it at 3 o'clock? Halfway to setting. Where is it at 6 o'clock? It's set. It's horizontal. It's horizontal. It's on the horizon. You can see it. Okay? Same thing out here. At noon, okay, it's directly overhead. From here, it's 45-degree angle now. At 3 o'clock, it's like that. At 6 o'clock, it's there. At that time, it's like that. It's horizontal. It's horizontal. Okay? So at 3 o'clock with a 45-degree angle here, it's a 90-degree angle here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. The sun is up there. That angle has to be a 45-degree angle. Every angle, no matter what it looks like, the three angles add up to 180 degrees. 45, 60, 60, 60. An equilateral triangle is equilateral because all legs are the same. All angles are the same. 60 plus 60 plus 60. 3 times 6 is 18, right? 180. Boom, 180. So 45, 90, subtract 90 from 180, that leaves 90. And if you subtract 45 from 90, you get what? 45. What else does that tell you? This leg is exactly the same as this leg on the ground. Those two legs are exactly the same. That looks pretty good. Okay, so pretty simple. When I saw that one, I flipped. I was just like, oh my gosh, geometry was my favorite subject. How could we have missed that for so long? Because we've been full fracking brainwashed. We have been well and truly brainwashed from birth. So, good question. Yeah. In other words, is your magnetosphere affecting the sun? Is that's what, and that may be. Scott, you're totally dead nuts on. Because the Earth, like I said, is a gigantic, the Earth is far larger. The sun is like nothing in size compared to the Earth in a flat Earth scenario, and I believe it's correct. Remains to be all the proofs done, but you take a laser, you do whatever, you send a high altitude balloon up, long range photography. There's a site called Beyond the Horizon. Beyond Horizons. It is a bunch of people that believe the Earth is a ball because they've been told that. And they know that they're seeing 275 miles away, 273 miles away, over the curvature of the Earth. And that's a mirage, but they're taking crystal clear photographs 273 miles away. So, yeah, right. Like, hello. Yeah, do the math on that one. Do the Pythagorean theorem. Here, coast to coast, 3,000 miles. Okay, boom. Pythagorean theorem. Check it out. 3,000. That means that like Kansas City, whatever's like dead center in the United States, should be, I'll do the math on, off the top of my head, I can't figure it, about 1,000 miles high. And it ain't. There's no way. It isn't. It's only like what, 1,000 feet altitude. It should be 1,000 miles. It don't fit. It don't work. So, all right, do the math on it. That ain't exact, but it's close. And the other one is the sun, distance to the sun. The leg on the ground is exactly, not approximately, exactly the distance. Now, I'm saying the sun's going like this, so that path, we got 3,000. The sun has gone farther than that. But visually, that direct line of sight from wherever it is, Boston to San Francisco, is exactly the distance, exactly the same as the distance from San Francisco to the sun. Real simple math. I mean, like grade school. I'm pretty sure I handled that in 8th grade. So, done deal. So, yeah, great questions. And that's heavy, and I'm looking forward to getting some other things going. Jersey got, say it in the comments, Oppenheimer Ranch linked up with Adapt 2030? No, Ice Age Farmer, yeah. So, Ice Age Farmer is another good one. 4th one, Ice Age Farmer. So anyway, we need to get some of this, hopefully some of these things worked out while we have time. Like, Scott's saying, you're right in getting as much, the three of you are rightly focusing on getting out as much news as you can while there's still time. So speaking of that, I'm going to cut this off so that I don't lose the whole thing that I've been saying. Good night. Bye. Pasta lasagna. Auf Wiedersehen.